So what did you have for breakfast today? Before we get into that, I'm going to be showing you how to do a proper glucose check. I'm surrounded by people who are sick all the time. So learning how to do a proper glucose check, and for those of you who don't understand what that is, it's a proper checking of your blood sugar levels. Checking blood sugar levels has become second nature to me. So I'm going to teach you or show you how to do this properly. First, we need to gather our supplies. Lancets, a Lancet pen, a glucose meter, the glucose strips, alcohol, and cotton balls. Some optional supplies that are available are my favorite, which are the alcohol swabs or alcohol preps they're called. And inside they have a little cotton square that's already embedded with alcohol. These are easier to handle than having to try and get your alcohol or your cotton ball wet with alcohol and then doing a proper cleansing. Another optional supply is a notebook. Just any little pad can suffice, where you can write down on a daily basis what your blood sugars are in the morning and in the afternoon, if that's what's required. And if you do take insulin, I like to write down how much was injected and where the location it was injected in. Before you go on to doing your actual blood sugar monitoring, you need to wash your hands. So I'll come to the sink. Dry my hands, and before I even turn off the sink, I need to make sure that I've dried my hands completely. And with my dirty napkin, turn off the sink. Dispose of that without touching the trash can. The reason for that is you've already washed off any outside bacteria that would contaminate or alter any kind of reading that you would get on your glucose meter. So, in order to get started, you would have to get your Lancet pen and remove the top. This is one of many. There's different styles and they basically all work the same. The top comes off in the screw-like fashion. If you've already used it in the day, you need to take off your used Lancet, put your new one in to where it fits, holding it with your thumb and forefinger, twist off the top. It's a safety feature so that you don't get stuck, and screw the cap back on. Each Lancet pen works in this very similar fashion, but they all have to be pulled back, and you'll hear a little snap in it, and an ejection button raises up where you will use to set it off. Before you begin, you need to make sure that all your supplies are set out and that you're ready to do this. Normally, I'm checking somebody else's blood sugar, so I would have somebody here that I would be doing this to. In this case, I'm showing you the process on how to do that. If I didn't have my alcohol pads, then I would carefully unscrew the cap and dab alcohol on here. Because I'm not going to use those, an alcohol pad is just torn and right down the middle so that the alcohol pad is sticking up. We get our glucose strip out of our container and insert it. There are many different styles of glucose meters. This one in particular speaks out loud. This particular meter speaks in Spanish, so you might not understand it, but we'll insert the glucose strip in it anyway. You would get your alcohol pad and choose a finger. Which finger would it be best to poke on? None of them in my case, I'd prefer. But for this particular process, I'll show you that you need to choose a finger. And so I'm going to choose my index finger, and I'm going to wipe off any other bacteria that I may have picked up by handling my other equipment. I allow it to air dry. Now when you get your lancet pen, you will not stab the center of your finger, for the simple reason that your finger has several nerve endings that are very sensitive, and with time you wind up causing what other diabetics go through in loss of sensation for either picking up a piece of paper or buttoning the buttons on a shirt or a blouse. So you would always prick the side of your finger, squeeze gently with your thumb, and you just need a small drop, and you would take your glucose meter with the strip already inserted, and it will automatically draw up exactly the amount of blood that it needs. Okay, so we've already done our finger check, or blood sugar check, so the next thing to do would be to make a note of it, if that was our option or what we desired to do. Then that last step would be to clean up. So I've already done everything I needed to do. I'll throw it away into the trash. So to review the steps, we would find our supplies, our lancets, lancet pen, our glucose meter, our glucose strips, alcohol options, and a notebook. Make sure that you clean up after you've done everything. Doctors really like for you to be able to show them what you've been running, how you've been doing things, seeing that you're balancing out your foods properly, because it'll all show on your results. Once we've taken care of all of that, the next thing to do is to watch what you eat. Going back to what did you have for breakfast? All those meals that you hear on TV all the time about watching what you eat and how you burn it off and don't burn it off. You just have to remember, it doesn't matter what you're eating, it's all going to go into your body, it's all going to give you a result. And the more sugar products that you eat, if you eat cake and cookies and Cokes and Sprite and all those things that contain so much sugar, it's all going to go in there, and it's all evidence on how you eat and how you take care of your body. This is the process on how to do a proper glucose check. My name is Lucy Flores. Thank you very much.